Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly thoroughbred racing recap, The Winner's Circle. With the Kentucky Derby less than 2 weeks away, we'll be focusing most of our attention on the 3-year-olds this week. We'll feature the Arkansas Derby and flash back to the 1983 Arkansas Derby. We'll have an update on our weekly Winner's Circle Lexington Herald leader Kentucky Derby rankings, and we'll profile a jockey who will be seeking his second Derby triumph. And coming up, we'll check on a couple of the early arrivals at Churchill Downs for the Run for the Roses. Derby fever is picking up in Louisville, and two of the colts who will start in the Derby, Temperate Sill and Talenum, arrived at Churchill Downs last week to get an early start on the competition. Here's John Henderson with this week's Thoroughbred News.
Charlie Whittingham hadn't brought a horse to the Kentucky Derby for 26 years until Ferdinand won last year. Now he's back in Louisville, going for a second straight victory with Temperate Sill. Whittingham is part owner of the Temperance Hill colt, who will go into the Derby with better credentials than Ferdinand did. In his last start, Temperate Sill won the Santa Anita Derby. Ferdinand ran third in that race.
Last year I thought we were really in a good position. I still think we do here now, unless we get a lot of a bad racetrack. I don't think he'd care for a bad racetrack.
If Temperate Sill does win the Kentucky Derby, the 74-year-old Whittingham would be the first trainer to saddle the winner of the race in consecutive years since Lucian Lawrence sent out Riva Ridge in 1972 and Secretariat a year later. Meanwhile, Team Lucas is still looking for its first Derby winner, and Flamingo Stakes winner Talenum might be the stable's leading hopeful.
We just haven't had things go our way on Derby Day. You can bring a horse up to it as good as he possibly can be and dead ready to run and maybe feel you have the best horse. But when that gate opens, anything can happen. And it's one race on one day, and crazy things can happen on that one day. So you just do the best you can. And we're looking forward to it like we do every year. And sooner or later, when that gate opens, things are going to go our way.
Since 1981, the Lucases, Father Wayne and son Jeff, have started 9 horses in the Kentucky Derby. And the best finish by a Lucas-trained horse was by Partey, who ran third 6 years ago.
Head play is on top, but broke a tip, but Don Mead up has made his move and is third on the rail.
The 1933 Run for the Roses will always be known as the year of the fighting finish. Jockey Don Mead on Broker's Tip, prevailing by a nose-over-head play ridden by Herb Fisher. The two jockeys tried to knock each other off their mounts in the stretch, and finally came to blows in the jockey's room after the race. This past Wednesday, the remains of Broker's Tip were interred in the Walk of Champions at the Kentucky Derby Museum. The horse's remains were salvaged from a California veterinary school, which had kept the bones boxed up for years. Carryback and swaps also are buried in the museum's courtyard. Last Tuesday at Keeneland, the Kentucky Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association honored Manila as the 1986 Kentucky Bred Horse of the Year. Later that afternoon, the Turf champion made his seasonal debut in the $50,000 added Elkhorn Stakes over the Keeneland Turf course, where he had made his first start on the grass a year earlier. Manila ended his 3-year-old campaign with a dramatic victory in the Breeders' Cup Turf last November 1st. The Elkhorn also marked the seasonal debut of Washington, D.C. international winner Lieutenant Clark. And those two ran 1-2, with Manila winning easily under Jacinto Vasquez.
They're nearing the wire, and Manila is drawing away.
Well, he's just an outstanding horse, and, you know, you always worry when you haven't run in 5 or 6 months. And, you know, Lieutenant Clark is a very nice horse. Both of them, their last starts, won major Group 1 races, and they both came back at the same time. And, you know, it was really nice, very nice.
Manila was clocked in 1:48.2, lowering the course record by 3 full seconds. This is John Henderson reporting for the Winner's Circle.
We'll begin our racing recap with the Grade 1 Apple Blossom Handicap from Oaklawn Park. The Wayne Lucas trained entry of Northsider and Family Style was favored at 30 cents on the dollar in this $250,000 added race. Here's Terry Wallace.
And it's Northsider who's going to show her heels to the field. She quickly accelerates to a 4-length lead. Family Style on the outside now to engage Queen Alexandra for second. Cordero's looking back for competition for Northsider and doesn't find it. She leads it by 3.5, all on her own. Look at him look back. It's Cordero and Northsider easily stepping away from champion Family Style. The entry will finish 1-2, Northsider and Family Style.
Lucas entry does run 1-2 with Northsider beating Family Style by 4 lengths. Northsider was ridden by Angel Cordero, the time 1:41.1. The 5-year-old mare by Topsider has 7 stakes victories to her credit, including the Grade 1 Santa Margarita Invitational last month. Northsider was bred in Kentucky by Sisley Stable, and Robert Levy was originally purchased for $75,000 at the Fasig-Tipton, Kentucky Summer Yearling Sale. Trainer Lucas and Paul Paternostro are the current owners of Northsider, who has earned $779,000. Next to Santa Anita, where the final graded stakes race of the meeting was the Grade 1 San Juan Capistrano Invitational last Sunday. Trainer Charlie Whittingham saddled 3 of the 6 starters in this $400,000 race. But the favorite was the Angel Penna-trained Long Mick. Trevor Denman picks up the field.
They homeward bound now, and Rivlier on the outside, and Wilfer at the rail are stride for stride, and this pair's going to fight it out. Wilfer is reaching down deep and finding more under Eddie Delahousse. Rivlier. Here comes Rosedale with a late run on the outside. It's Wilfer fighting them all off, though. Wilfer or Rosedale. Rosedale has got up in the last stride under Laffit Pincay.
Rosedale under Pincay gets up to win by a neck over Wilfa, giving Charlie Whittingham his 5th straight winner in the grueling San Juan Capistrano, the time 2:49 flat. That was the biggest victory for Rosedale, who earned $220,000 to increase his bankroll to $363,000. The 4-year-old Vaguely Noble colt was a group stakes winner in Italy last year. He won the San Marino Handicap at Santa Anita last month. Rosedale was bred in Kentucky by his owner, Nelson Bunker Hunt, along with Hunt's Bluegrass Farm. Coming up, a profile of Rosedale's Laffit Pincay. Laffit Pincay dominated the jockey standings during the Santa Anita meeting, which concluded this past Monday. He established a record by riding the winners of more than $3.7 million, and his 131 winning mounts were 42 ahead of runner-up Gary Stevens. Pincay's next objective, a Kentucky Derby victory aboard Masterful Advocate. Liz Shanoff has this profile.
Laffit Pincay rode phenomenally well all meeting to win the Santa Anita riding title for the 12th time. But phenomenal doesn't begin to describe his performance on March 14th, when he won a track record 7 races on 1 card. The record breaker came in the 9th, when Laffit used his famous stretch ride to bring home an old campaigner named Bedouin.
Laffit is going to rewrite the history books on Bedouin. It's Bedouin giving Laffit Pincay win number 7, the first time in Santa Anita history.
And when I crossed the wire, it was like a dream come true. Finally, that I won 7 races in 1 day, and I was really excited.
2 years ago, Pincay had understandably gone into a bit of a slump as he tried to cope with the suicide of his wife, Linda. But once he put that tragedy behind him and started dating actress Phyllis Davis, the new excitement in his personal life carried over to the track and even helped in his constant battle with weight.
We're always doing things, which I don't think he did before. He stayed home, and he was always dieting, and he seems to be able not to diet. He doesn't have to diet so much because he's always like walking, and then we're going places, and on the weekends, which is Monday and Tuesday, we'll go to Palm Springs or someplace else. So he's always busy.
Laffit once talked fondly of retirement, but now at the age of 40, he's not even considering it.
I don't feel right now like I have like it's a finish line pretty soon. I feel like I can, if I want to, I can go on for a long time. Which before I was always thinking, well, I'm gonna end up here or maybe end up there. Now I don't look at it that way. I just take 1 day at a time, and that's the way it's gonna be. As long as I feel good, I keep going.
Pincay's hoping to extend his great riding year past the end of the Santa Anita season. Well, at least until the first Saturday in May. He'll be riding Masterful Advocate in the Kentucky Derby, Laffit choosing the Advocate over Capote before his choice ran rather poorly in the Santa Anita Derby. It turns out Masterful Advocate pulled a back muscle in that race, and Pincay considered taking off him, but trainer Joe Manzi persuaded Laffit to stay.
His opinion is very important to me because like I said, he's one of the best trainers around, and I rode for him for a long time. And when he told me that, well, I said, well, I think he's right. You know, I'm going to go by his advice and ride his horse in the Kentucky Derby. And the horse, he's been galloping good, he's been doing good, and I think we still got a very good chance.
Laffit Pincay trying to add a second Kentucky Derby to the one he won 3 years ago with Swale. At Santa Anita, I'm Liz Shanoff reporting for the Winner's Circle.
We'll begin our review of the 3-year-olds with the fillies in the 50th running of the Grade 1 Ashland Stakes at Keeneland. Marmar was the 2-to-1 favorite in this $150,000 added race. Mike Battaglia picks up the field.
They're midway through the turn. Chic Shireen in front. Opens it out to 2 lengths. Barrier Belief second by 2. Our Little Margie third. 2.5 back to Bound running fourth. They're into the stretch. Chic Shireen still in front down along the rail. In the center of the track, Barrier Belief gains ground. It's going to be those two. Forget the rest of them with a 16th of a mile to go. Chic Shireen on the inside ahead in front. On the outside, Barrier Belief. They hit the wire right together.
Here's another look as the 2 California Invaders, Chic Shireen and Barrier Belief, match strides through the stretch. Pace setter Chic Shireen on the rail under Sandy Hawley, Barrier Belief on the outside. And it will be the 16-to-1 long shot Chic Shireen who gets to the wire ahead in front. Chic Shireen, making her first start in 4 months, carried 118 pounds, the time 1:44.3. The Ashland marked her first graded stakes victory. The Mr. Prospector filly out of the Grade 1 Stakes winner 2 Chic was bred in Kentucky by her owner, Miss Emery Alexander. Chic Shireen has earned $184,000. Turning our attention to the 3-year-old colts, ABC Sports has exclusive rights to the Grade 1 Wood Memorial, and they refuse to let us show that $500,000 race. But Mike Hartnett does have this report.
Gulch is now one of the leading contenders for the Run for the Roses after winning the Wood by a head over Gone West. Under Jose Santos, Gulch was clocked in 149 flat over a muddy track. Favored Capote ran 4th behind Chocolate One. Trainer Leroy Jolly watched anxiously as his colt chased Gone West down the stretch.
I wasn't really thinking, but it was, you know, you could see it was going to be tight, and I was just hoping that he had enough left to get there.
Jolly used the Wood as the final prep for both of his Kentucky Derby winners, Genuine Risk and Foolish Pleasure. Who will ride Gulch at Churchill Downs? Jockey Santos has an important decision to make, since he also rides another Derby hopeful, Florida Derby winner Crypto Clearance.
I talked to my agent, you know, we sit down and we talked and we check in the movie. You know, those 2 horses have a big chance to win the Kentucky Derby. And I don't know now who's the best.
Gulch, who captured the Grade 2 Bayshore last month, has now won 7 of 11 starts. Bred in Kentucky by his owner, Peter Brandt, the Mr. Prospector colt has earned over $957,000. This is Mike Hartnett reporting for the Winner's Circle.
Pleasant Colony in 1981 was the last Wood Memorial winner to also take the Kentucky Derby. Coming up, the final prep for the probable Kentucky Derby favorite. Until Sonny's Halo won the Kentucky Derby in 1983, no Arkansas Derby winner had ever gone on to victory in the Run for the Roses. The triumph of Sonny's Halo at Oaklawn Park 4 years ago was the most impressive of the Kentucky Derby preps that year.
Sonny's Halo, by Halo out of Mostly Sunny by Sonny, already had established his credentials as a colt to be reckoned with prior to his victory in the Arkansas Derby. He was champion 2-year-old colt in Canada in 1982 when he won 4 stakes, including the Canadian Grade 1 Coronation Futurity. He made his 3-year-old debut in Oaklawn's Rebel Handicap, which he won by 3 lengths under Larry Snyder. Eddie Delahousie, who had won the Kentucky Derby with Gato del Sol the year before, picked up the mount for the Arkansas Derby. Under high weight of 126 pounds, Sonny's Halo went postward as the co-favorite, along with Louisiana Derby winner Balboa Native. 14 started, but the race was decided when Sonny's Halo dragged Delahousie to the front in the first turn. Sonny's Halo maintained a comfortable margin as the field headed into the stretch, and only eventual Belmont Stakes winner Caveat was able to mount any serious challenge.
It is Sonny Halo leading it by 4 lengths. Along the inside, here comes Caveat and Exile King. But it's Sonny's Halo leading by 4 lengths. Sonny's Halo in front. And under a hand ride, Sonny's Halo will win the Arkansas Derby easily by 4 lengths.
Sonny's Halo, who raced for his breeder David Foster, was 4 lengths in front at the wire. The time, 1 minute 49 2/5. After this impressive victory at Oaklawn Park, Sonny's Halo headed to Churchill Downs, where he would give Delahousie his 2nd consecutive Kentucky Derby winner 3 weeks later.
I knew after he won that day in Arkansas Derby. The way he done it, I had good feelings about winning the Kentucky Derby after that. And he was just a racehorse. That's all I can say, you know. And he ought to make a good stallion.
Besides the Kentucky Derby, Sonny's Halo also won the Grade 1 Super Derby by 10 lengths and earned over $1 million during his 3-year-old campaign. He retired to Domino Stud with a lifetime bankroll of nearly $1,248,000. His first foals will race as 2-year-olds this year.
Demons Be Gone was attempting to enhance his credentials as the Kentucky Derby favorite when he started in the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby last Saturday. The Demon, who went postward at 20 cents on the dollar, faced only 5 challengers in this $500,000 race. Terry Wallace has the call.
And they're up. And on the inside, Demons Be Gone broke nicely, but now looking for the big one. Shoots quickly for the lead. True Diplomacy settles into second. You're No Bargain third. Demons Be Gone has the rail in fourth. Way out on the outside, Fast Forward. And Il Dajinski trails as they move into the turn. And under a snug hold, looking for the big one, and Gary Stevens open up a 3-length lead. To the middle of the track is True Diplomacy with Mike Lee in second. Pat Day skims the rail with Demons Be Gone in third. Followed by You're No Bargain, Il Dajinski, and Fast Forward taking back today. The opening quarter, a comfortable 23-1. And looking for the big one, playing Catch Me If You Can. He leads it by 3.5. Pat Day takes Demons Be Gone into second and slides him away from the rail. True Diplomacy in the middle is third. Il Dajinski is along the inside between horses You're No Bargain and Fast Forward. The half accomplished in 46-4. And still it is Stevens and looking for the big one. True Diplomacy to the outside. Pat Day sitting comfortable with Demons Be Gone. Then the rest of them clustered behind. Il Dajinski on the rail, Fast Forward, and You're No Bargain as they move on to the final turn. Looking for the big one, still has the lead. True Diplomacy second, then Demons Be Gone, and Il Dajinski, the maiden, shooting through on the inside. 6 furlongs, a minute 10-4. And on the turn, it's looking for the big one to lead, but now here comes the Demon on the outside. And here they come into the stretch, and it's the Demon driving up and hooking, looking for the big one for the lead. On the outside, Fast Forward with a late charge. With a furlong to go, Pat Day takes Demons Be Gone to the lead. Looking for the big one is second. And as they drive for the wire, make no mistake about it, it is Demons Be Gone under a hand ride. Here he comes, Kentucky. It's Demons Be Gone winning the Arkansas Derby by 3.5.
The Demon wins easily over pace setter looking for the big one. The time, 1:47.3, the second fastest of 51 runnings of the Arkansas Derby, and is the fastest by a colt.
This horse run to looking for the big one early in the stretch without any encouragement on my part. I helped him change leads, and he went right on about his business like the professional that he is.
I sure believe it was an awful good race for him. You know, I don't think, I would have hated to seen him have to drive the length of the stretch with whips flailing, and maybe, have taken a whole lot more out of him than I believe this race might have.
Demons Be Gone, winner of both the Southwest and Rebel Stakes earlier this year at Oaklawn, will earn $1 million bonus if he wins the Kentucky Derby. His bankroll now stands at $573,000. The elocutionist colt has been off the board only once in his 9-race career. Demons Be Gone was bred in Kentucky by his owner, the Loblolly Stable. On the basis of his victory in the Arkansas Derby, Demons Be Gone solidified his hold on the top spot in our weekly Winner's Circle Lexington Herald Leader Kentucky Derby rankings. In fact, all 5 of our regular panelists put him at number 1.
I think you have to make Demons Be Gone the favorite going into the Derby off what he's done in Arkansas, winning his races so impressively there. But for some reason, I think there are probably 6 or 7 horses that could win this Derby, and the horse that really sticks out in my mind is Masterful Advocate.
But remember, Derby favorites have not fared too well in recent years. The last post-time favorite to win the Run for the Roses, Spectacular Bid in 1979. Coming up, the Breeders' Special Stakes Report. The Breeders' Cup Special Stakes Report highlights all the action in this $4 million series, which promotes racing year-round. 6 started in the second running of the $130,000 Golden Gate Fields Budweiser Breeders' Cup, with Mangaki a slight favorite over Nassid. Here's John Gibson.
Turning into the stretch, and Mangaki on top by 2 lengths on the inside. Barbaria's second. Nasib is closing in on the outside. In deep stretch, that's Mangaki with the lead. Along the rail, Barbary is coming back. Nasib is closing in rapidly on the outside. Barbary at the rail could get up.
Here's another look as Barberry on the rail under Sam Maple gets to the wire a nose in front of favored Mangaki. This represented the 6th stakes victory for Barberry, who has placed in 10 other added money races during his career. The 5-year-old horse by Empery clocked in 142-1 and has earned $469,000. He was bred in Kentucky by Nelson Bunker Hunt and Bluegrass Farm and races for Double Down Stable. Track record performances at Golden Gate Fields and at Oaklawn Park highlight this week's coast-to-coast wrap-up. Here's Mike Hartnett.
Our first stop is Golden Gate for the Grade 2 California Derby. 9-to-1 shot, Simply Majestic, who is not nominated to the Triple Crown, equaled the track record while winning by 3.5 lengths under Louis Ortega.
But it's Simply Majestic winning the Derby in front.
That was the first stakes victory for Simply Majestic, who was clocked in 146-3. The Majestic Light Colt is now over the $200,000 mark in career earnings. He was bred in Virginia by Keswick Stables and Peggy Augustus and was purchased by Ted Sabarese for $575,000 at the Saratoga August yearling sale. On to Oaklawn Park for the Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicap. 4-5 favorite Snow Chief, ridden by Alex Solis, won by 3 parts of a length over Red Attack while lowering the track record.
It's going to be Snow Chief to win the Oaklawn Handicap by a half.
Snow Chief timed in 146-3. The 4-year-old colt by Reflected Glory is the richest thoroughbred in training with a bankroll of just over $3,038,000. He was bred in California by Blue Diamond Ranch and races for Ben Rochelle and the estate of Carl Grinstead. We move to Miami and to Gulfstream Park for the Grade 2 Orchid Handicap. Down the stretch, it was a battle between Anka Germania and Singular Bequest.
It's Anchor Germania digging in game, but coming back. It's Singular Bequest. These two up and down, nose and nose to the wire.
And with Craig Perret aboard, Anka Germania on the hedge gets up to win by a nose over Singular Bequest. That was the 3rd stakes victory of the year for Anka Germania, who has now earned $357,000. The 5-year-old mare by Malinowski is owned by Glencrest Farm and Fernwood Stable. Up the East Coast now to Aqueduct in New York for the Grade 2 Excelsior Handicap. Nearly 8-to-1 shot, La Quimette breeds to a 3 3/4 length victory under Eddie Maple.
They race to the wire, and La Quimette has the lead.
La Quimette captures his 3rd stakes victory. The 4-year-old colt by Pleasant Colony has career earnings of over $268,000. La Quimette was bred in Kentucky by his owner, Virginia Kraft Payson. Our final stop is in New Jersey for the Grade 3 Garden State Stakes. Cherry Hill Mile winner Harriman was favored, but it was Templar Hill and Mr. SM who fought it out in a stretch duel.
Mr. SM on the outside, Templar Hill on the inside. Those two head at the wire.
And Mr. SM on the outside, ridden by Frank Lovato Jr., holds off Templar Hill to win by a nose for his first stakes victory. Mr. SM, who is not nominated to the Triple Crown, is by Rollicking and was bred in Maryland by Glade Valley Farms Incorporated. He was purchased for $53,000 at the Fasig-Tipton, Kentucky September yearling sale. Mr. SM has earned nearly $180,000 racing for Samuel Morrell.